Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem, featuring Jade, Gwen Johnson.
Morning.
Hi. Morning.
Jade, do that over. That height ain't acceptable.
Man, Azem matching Kevon. We were supposed to give you the memo. I'm sorry, the color today was supposed to be like a greenish theme.
Yeah, olive green, army green.
Yeah. That was all bad.
And locks.
Yeah.
So you need.
Thanks for the update.
Yeah. Could I go buy your cap long time, your locks cap. But you know.
Please, have you seen?
Give me the one you got here and put back in it.
I already put them back in actually. I went to my loctician, big up Flash Naki one time. And she fixed. Yes. After a chuckle.
I just about to say, have you guys seen what's happening with weave technology lately? Like Kevon could have locks tomorrow.
Yeah. Listen, the man weaves right now, they've been doing it. So Kevon, what are you gonna do?
It's amazing. I will look into it.
All right.
You might see me with locks very soon.
Right, that's vibes.
Vibes. Hey, everybody good?
Yeah.
Everybody mind in the right place?
Today?
Oh yeah, because it's Friday.
Everybody nipples percolated? Like what's happening?
The kids are listening as they remember they're home.
They have nipples too.
I'm glad people hear me say Azem before you say whatever, because you ain't gonna blame this on Kevon.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Kevon, what are you blaming you for?
Everything at this point.
You don't want to know.
Oh, okay. All right. You have a rather fancy looking background there. You look very studious there, Kevon.
Should I change it to match the theme of St Kitts and Nevis?
You look like a university professor there. I wish the listeners...
Maybe I am.
Maybe you are.
Shall I change it to match the theme of the nation?
No, it's entirely up to you, my friend. But it certainly makes you look super smart, which I'm sure you are, by the way.
There we go.
All right. Gentlemen, lady, good morning.
Morning. And how are you?
All right. I am doing okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Oh boy. What can I tell you? You know, I'm just glad for the weekend. I mean, I'm normally glad for the weekend, but you know, this has been such a week for all kinds of reasons, not just because of what's happening in the news, but just, you know, it's just been a week. I mean, the news coming out of St Kitts with the curfew being reinstituted and the tightening of the restrictions and the protocols, you know, it's like deja vu. So I can imagine how folks in St Kitts must be feeling. All right. And then, of course, here in Antigua, we've been caught up with this Indian fugitive who is no choir boy. I mean, I know some folks are trying to, you know, yes, Gaston, Roosevelt, Skerritt, blah, blah, blah. But this guy is no angel. Let's put it that way. He's no Pope Francis, shall we say. So, yes, he is entitled to certain rights and privileges because he's an Antiguan citizen by virtue of the CIP. But he ain't no. All I'm saying is he's no angel. That's all I'm saying. And of course, there's a lot of drama. It's like a Netflix special this week.
I literally had the same thought this morning. When I thought about the situation, I was like, "This is a good series."
Yes, it is a good series. Not sure how we break down the different parts, because of course it goes back to him and his fake diamonds or lesser, whatever diamonds that he did and whatever he did to try and obtain money through fraudulent means and all the rest of it. He is certainly no angel. But, you know, there are certain things that have to be done. There are certain processes that have to be respected and legalities that have to be adhered to. And I'm sure the lawyers in Dominica are going to see to it that his interests legally are protected to the extent they can. And, of course, the court will ultimately determine what takes place. Just to let you know that we are awaiting the arrival of Queen's Counsel, Justin L. Simon. He should be joining us momentarily. I spoke to him a few minutes ago. He'll be joining. He said he'll be on momentarily. So he asked us just to give him a few extra minutes. Maybe I don't know, I'm just speculating he might be doing a little work in preparation for the court situation. Let me see something here. Yeah, 9 o'clock on Friday, the matter is going to be heard. You might have heard, I would have shared with you the information that the court ordered that the Attorney General and the Commissioner of Police, whether by themselves or their servants, agents, or representatives, be restrained from depriving the applicant, Mr. Chucksy, access to legal counsel and legal representation, Also, that the applicant be allowed to meet with his legal counsel forthwith, all right, because the lawyer did say in the interview yesterday with Dominica Media that he had some challenges getting in touch or speaking to his client. The defendants be restrained, whether by themselves, servants, agents, or representatives, from removing the applicant from the Commonwealth of Dominica, which of course is perhaps the main thing, because Prime Minister Gaston Brown did ask his counterpart in Dominica to declare the gentleman persona non grata and send him immediately to India. All right, this order to be served immediately on the defendants by email and fax and in person, and the head of immigration at the Douglas Charles Airport by email and fax. So the court not making any mistake here. They're covering all their bases. I don't see the seaport here, but I don't think he can make it very quickly by sea to India. Let's put it that way. So although people are speculating how quickly it took him to get to Dominica, because up to the time I was asking the chief of staff on Monday morning with our Monday morning briefing if with Mr. Chucksy's whereabouts and whether or not he should have had police protection, or at least the police should have been keeping an eye on him. All that time, apparently, the gentleman was already in Dominica.
Yes, sir.
Being reported, but it's only Wednesday, I think, we realized, okay, Dominica is where he's at. So what happened during that 2-3 day period? What took place?
Who knows?
That's what a lot of people are asking. So
I mean, and there was even talks of him going to Cuba at one point. I was hearing all sorts of things about this guy.
Yeah. Some of my friends, my learned friends, think that somebody says, the audio. All right, we're going to work on the audio, Jade. I'm not sure what the issue is, but I'm not sure what the issue is. You're hearing me clearly? Who's hearing me clearly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are, I think.
But Jade says she's not hearing me clearly. Jade,
No,
you're not hearing me clearly?
I was speaking about...
It's distorting every now and again. Yeah. But,
okay.
yeah.
Well, we're doing the best we can, so we'll make the lemonade as we go along.
Indeed.
So, enough about Chucksy for now until the arrival of Queen's Counsel. I think I see him. He's connecting via audio. Everybody's adept with Zoom, because we have to use Zoom for everything, for work, for non-governmental organizations, for everything. Everything is Zoom. I mean, they have a few others, that are supposedly more secure, but I think Zoom is certainly the go-to platform for these things. Just want to welcome to the regional link-up Senior Counsel Justin L. Simon, QC. Good morning, Mr. Simon. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly. I just cannot see you, because that's a Zoom issue also.
No, it's not. It's an Observer AM issue. We need to get a camera. We have a... WINN FM, well, we need a camera. We do need a camera, because folks want to know how I look. But Mr. Simon, you know how I look, so it's all right. That's all that matters.
I certainly do, for quite some time. But let me say good morning also to your listeners, and also to inform you that notwithstanding that statement I made, I am still technologically challenged.
Oh dear. But you've done well, and you're coming through very clearly. And we appreciate you taking the time out of what I'm sure, undoubtedly, especially right now, is a very busy schedule.
Busy is not the word. There's some serious pressure.
I can imagine.
But nevertheless, I think it's always important that the public are made aware of matters of national importance.
All right. Why is this a matter of such national importance from a legal perspective, Mr. Simon?
Well, I think we are all aware that Mehul Choksi applied for and obtained citizenship of Antigua and Barbuda. Once he did that, he lost his citizenship of India, because unlike Antigua, Indian law does not allow for dual citizenship. And he obtained his Antigua and Barbuda passport on November 16th, 2017. Right. So he's been a citizen since then. We know that the Indian authorities have sought or requested his extradition out of Antigua in respect of a financial scheme involving a national bank. And once the government of Antigua receives that request, they would have to process it. We've done that before, and I recall Leroy King was involved in respect of his participation with Alan Stanford, and a request was made in respect of him. So it's a very similar process. But Mr. Choksi has been challenging the constitutionality of the process, as well as challenging the request for extradition. And there are two matters in court pending in respect of his applications. And in fact, the court actually issued orders at a hearing which we had on the 14th of April 2021. In fact, the government is represented by the Deputy Solicitor General, who has been led by Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan. And we actually spoke, Mr. Astafan and myself, and agreed to the order or to the directions to be given in the order in respect of getting expert evidence or experts to come and give evidence on the matter, because a challenge is being made in respect of whether the Indian authorities had the proper legal authority to make that request. And we've also got trial directions from the court. So it's a pending matter, although we have not yet got a fixed date for the hearing. One of the matters should be heard in November, and the other would be following that. And it's really a matter for the court office to indicate the availability of a judge to deal with the matter. So the point I'm making is that there is a live issue in court in respect of Mr. Choksi's extradition. Okay. Mr. Choksi has been here in Antigua, living over at Jolly Harbor. Right. He's under no restraint, no police, how should I put it, restrictions in respect of his movement. And all of a sudden, we now hear that he has disappeared, found himself over in Dominica, and until yesterday, he was refused audience by his lawyers in Dominica until they obtained a court order, because they filed a court action for habeas corpus, which the judge granted in terms of directing the police to allow the lawyers to speak with him, and also restraining the government authorities from sending him out of Dominica, whether it is to Antigua or whether it's to India or anywhere else, unless the court gives permission. Now that had to be done because, the media was very full of news items and news clips from our Prime Minister here, the Honorable Gaston Brown, that he does not want Mr. Choksi back here. He has already spoken to Prime Minister Skerrit in Dominica to send Mr. Skerrit over to India. And it is my understanding that India and Dominica do not have an extradition treaty. So extradition is a process, it's a legal process. And the person who is being extradited has to be given an opportunity for him to defend or answer in respect of the request before that has been processed. In fact, you will recall that with Leroy King, his extradition request, or the extradition request for him, was made way back in 2009 or 2010. And it is just last year or year before last, that he found himself in the States on that order, because he challenged the process right up to the Privy Council, and there was no interference of him in respect of that process, because it is the individual's right as a citizen to take whatever legal steps things are open to him to fight his matter. And we have to allow the judicial process to take its course. It doesn't matter what your station is. It doesn't matter who the person is. We have to respect our judicial process. It is very, very important that we do so, because the judicial process is what stands between arbitrary behavior and proper constitutional behavior. So that is where we stand on the matter. The lawyers in Dominica are going back to court this morning. They've got information from Mr. Choksi. They have very detailed information in terms of what happened. And from Mr. Choksi, we understand, and I've spoken to him too yesterday, that he was actually abducted. He had an appointment to go somewhere, and when he went there, he was grabbed, placed on a boat, blindfolded. Next thing, he landed in Dominica, and there were police, high senior police authorities waiting at that particular point. So that allows for a lot of speculation as to exactly who is behind that, what has happened, and the court process in Dominica, thankfully, has begun to investigate this matter. And we also know that Mr. Choksi is not a very well individual. He was denied medical attention whilst he was in police custody, denied access to his lawyers, which is a constitutional breach, but this has now been remedied by the court. So we wait to see what happens next. And I say it is a matter of national concern because the abduction took place here in Antigua. The question is under what circumstances, who were involved, what was the whole rationale behind doing something of that nature. Mr. Choksi himself was not a threat to anybody here in Antigua. That's granted that he has some serious charges hanging over his head over in India. And we can also speculate that he's come to Antigua and got citizenship so that he can avoid being in India or being sent over to India. So it's a process which has to be allowed to play its course. And he be given the opportunity, as well as the government will be given its opportunity for it to make its case on behalf of the Indian government. Right, so it is a matter of some national concern.
Okay. I would like to ask my esteemed colleagues over at WINN FM, we have a question for our senior counsel this morning? I'm sure you do.
It was,
hello?
For me, it was more of a statement. Good morning, sir.
Pleasant morning to you.
You saying that he was kidnapped was this seems very movie-like. Like this feels like
right.
I'll call you back. I'm on the radio.
But
okay. Yes.
Yeah, this feels like something that you would wake up and watch as a Netflix series, not something that would just be happening next door to us.
Well, I keep on telling people, when we watch movies and we watch Netflix and we see all those dramatic events, they do one of two things. It's either they are copying things which have already occurred, not in our part of the world, but in another part of the world. Or secondly, what they do is to influence persons as to what action they should take in certain circumstances. Mm-hmm. So the media does have a very serious influence in our behavior and conduct. So whatever you see on Netflix, don't think it's something which is happening on the moon or in Saturn, happening right here on Earth. And in fact, all you have to do is listen or watch the news, BBC News, and you see what's happening throughout the world. It's really craziness where I am concerned.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It is.
Let me ask you, sorry, Kevon, you had a question?
No, go ahead.
All right. As far as the legality of the Prime Minister's request of the government of Dominica through his counterpart to essentially declare Mr. Choksi persona non grata and send him off to India or repatriate him to India, was that something that he ought to have done from a legal perspective? Well,
personally, I don't think he should have. But prime ministers have certain, relationships, especially within the CARICOM territory. And a request could be made, but not that the Dominican prime minister could just up and do that, because there would have to be a legal process. I think what the Honorable Prime Minister here in Antigua basically saying is that he really does not want Mr. Choksi back here with that process. India, no doubt, is putting some pressure on the Antigua and Barbuda government. We have a good relationship with India, and the sooner that matter is addressed or cleared up, is the better, where he's concerned. And on a political front, I guess this is how he thinks best to handle it. But I think he has to understand that there are legal implications, that Mr. Choksi, as a citizen of Antigua and Barbuda, has certain rights. And the fact that he now is a citizen, and therefore he no longer is a citizen of India, has to be taken into consideration and account in terms of what is going to be happening.
Right. The information coming to hand suggests that do we know for a fact that his Indian citizenship was removed? Because
yes, we know for a fact by law, because India does not allow for dual citizenships. Not all states do that.
Right.
So that automatically, when he became an Antiguan citizen, his Indian citizenship simply was extinguished, and he also sent a declaration to the embassy over in either Barbados or Trinidad, specifically in written terms declaring that he has given up his citizenship.
He has given up.
So that is a legal fact.
Okay. Well, let me just share this with you for the purposes of our discussion, because I think I want to get your reaction to it. The Prime Minister is actually listening to the discussion, and he is putting on the table that Indian officials advise the government that Choksi's revocation of citizenship is not automatic, and his requested revocation has not been actioned. Therefore, they have the authority to request repatriation to India. How would you respond to that, Mr. Simon, from a legal standpoint?
The way that we see it, based upon the expert advice that we have received, is that it has been renounced. So that the government side has also requested and obtained from the court permission for them, leave for them to bring in an expert. So we will be having two experts before the court, one on the government side and one on our side. And the court will make a determination as to which of the expert advice that the court would accept and therefore follow. So again, as I said, saying it is one thing, but that is being challenged. And therefore, the opportunity has to be given so that the judicial process provides the answer, which would be accepted by either side, whichever way it falls. Who doesn't accept it will then have the right to appeal right up to the Privy Council, just as Leroy King did.
So this saga isn't going to be over anytime soon.
It is not. It is a process that is going to be ongoing for some time.
Okay.
There's no two ways about it.
Right. There's so many questions. I don't even know where to begin or where to end. But
and I may not have all of the answers.
I know.
Let me warn you on that.
Colleagues in St Kitts, a follow-up question.
Yes, and let me also say that the fact that the matter is live in Dominica would also prevent me from revealing or disclosing a lot of information, because it is, we have to respect the whole process.
All right. So individuals who will be listening to this, and they're saying, look, Mr. Choksi is no angel. He's no choir boy. People fabricate and make up stories all the time. Where's the proof that he was actually abducted? Okay, we can tell you're having a very busy morning, Mr. Simon. Everybody wants to talk to you.
Yes, I just got a call from Dominica. That was the Dominica Council.
We will try our best to wrap this up in another 5 minutes or so, because I know you have to prepare. It's 9 o'clock is the court appointment.
No problems.
Okay.
It is scheduled for 9, but it's possible that it may be later, because council has indicated that they are involved in other court matters. And with this Zoom, now everything is basically packed. So it may, although it's scheduled for 9, it may not begin promptly at 9.
Understood. Anyway, but just so that we take full advantage of the time, there are those who will be speculating. This guy is not an angel. Who's to say that he didn't concoct this up? He wanted to get out of Antigua and Barbuda because he felt the pressure increasing, close relations with India. India has been very kind to us with this, with the vaccine rollout, etc., etc. Maybe there's some quid pro quo going on here. What would you say to those who are skeptical about Mr. Choksi's motives and his truthfulness in this particular matter?
Well, it's a matter, how should I put it? Let me see, from the time that his disappearance was announced, I mean, we all had our speculations in respect of what happened. And I have to say that I fell into that category also. Know exactly what happened. Who would have done that? Why would Mr. Choksi have done that, knowing that he has lawyers representing him? He has not informed any of his lawyers. And incidentally, here in Antigua, we have myself and we have Jomoki Phillips, who are representing him. And there was Dr. Dorset at one time, but who is there and available. And none of us knew anything about that. Okay. But when we look at the circumstances, the fact that having arrived in Dominica, it's only Mr. Choksi who had been detained. What had happened to the other persons who were on the boat? We've heard nothing in respect of that. For the whole time that Mr. Choksi has been in custody, he was not allowed to see a lawyer. He was not given medical attention. He was not allowed to call any member of his family. Mm-hmm. Why would the police do that? And that is a question which is being asked. And especially when Choksi himself, and we have pictures showing his face is battered, one of his eyes is swollen, his arm, there is what should I put it?
A cast?
Swollen. So we have pictures of all of that, which shows that there certainly was physical altercation between himself and whoever. And what he has indicated is that he was beaten, he was roughed up, his jewelry was taken, his watch was taken, whatever money he had in his hands was taken away from him, and he was told that he's going to Dominica so that he can be sent over to India. That is what we have from Mr. Choksi. In fact, what the council in Dominica were able to do yesterday when the court gave them the right to see, or ordered the police to give them permission to see him, is that they have now prepared an affidavit for Mr. Choksi to swear to in respect of his account of what has actually happened.
Right.
There are no names which have been mentioned, but that affidavit is going to be filed, and we can only go on the basis of what Mr. Choksi has sworn in the affidavit.
Point taken.
But as I say, when you look at all of the circumstances, it is rather very strange and allows for a lot of speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Was anyone found on this boat? The police said that he was picked up by police. Was he on the boat when he was picked up? Do you know?
My information is that the police were actually waiting at the point where the boat docked.
Oh,
okay. So who was on the boat?
Okay.
And it was not just...
So was he alone?
It was not just any police, but there were senior police officers who were there. So it's as though they were expecting him. And yet, there's been no mention of anyone else on that boat who the police have detained, or who they saw or they found. Nothing of that nature.
You read my script.
Let me say something.
That's my next question.
Let me say something else. It's only last night or yesterday afternoon that Mr. Choksi was charged with illegal entry into Dominica. Only yesterday, Thursday, after the court order.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Interpol has a warrant for Mr. Choksi's arrest, correct?
Yes, I am understanding that.
Okay. If he is wanted by Interpol, on what basis could Dominica not send him or extradite him as a result of this warrant? What are the legalities there?
He would have a right also to challenge that Interpol request. In other words, Interpol cannot just come simply say, we need that man, and you just give it to him. Give that man over to him. If the man has no objection, not a problem. If he has an objection, and before the process has been implemented, he has applied to the court, then clearly that process has to be allowed, because you have a constitutional right to legal representation. You have a constitutional right to due legal judicial process. And so that is where we are going. So if the Interpol has made that request, no doubt the government of Dominica will indicate to the court through the police commissioner and the council that that request has been made. And it will have to be the court who will then have to make the ultimate decision, because the matter is now before the court.
Oh boy. Jade and company, final question for Learned Counsel this morning. Y'all don't know where to begin, right?
Well, you started the question and then I tried to follow up, but then it was, there's nowhere else to go, because my main question was who was on this boat with him. Mm-hmm. But then, this situation being presented that he was basically he had a waiting ceremony, basically, waiting party, just waiting for him.
Yes.
And then there's no mention of anybody being on the boat with him. I mean, where do you go from there? Question.
You're totally right. In fact, what I intend to doing is once that affidavit has been filed in court and the matter has been heard, I am going to be asking Counsel in Dominica to disclose the affidavit so that the public is aware of exactly what Mr. Choksky's say on the matter is and what he has sworn to in terms of the circumstances.
And also, quick question, just so we have an idea of the timeline, when is it that he is said to arrive in Dominica?
When did he arrive? He arrived on Sunday.
On Sunday. Wow.
Sunday, yes.
He arrived on Sunday, and then the illegal entry charge wasn't made until Thursday.
Until Thursday.
Yes, so that.
In the meantime, he was just held there.
Wow. And just for clarification, that also means that the the Antiguan government wasn't informed of his arrival in Dominica until
whenever they said that they were. Well, I don't know whether they were informed before, but they only decided to release it later on. I have no idea in respect of that. But let me also give you another scenario. Remember I told you that the lawyers were refused access to him, to speak to him, up till Wednesday. On Thursday, which was yesterday, one of the lawyers on his way to his outward office, preparing for court, decided to pass at the police station just out of curiosity. And another joined him, and they asked the police officer at the desk, "Can we see Mr. Choksky?" He says, "Yes." So they go and they speak to Mr. Choksky. And then a senior police officer comes and orders them out. And apparently the officer at the desk was not aware that there was a directive from higher up that no one should see Mr. Choksky.
Wow.
These are the circumstances, and that was also revealed to the court yesterday at the hearing.
What's up?
Wow.
What?
So,
the plot
High drama, very high drama.
It is high drama. And my final question, I'm trained, you shouldn't ask it with the final question, because one answer might beg another question. But let me ask you, what is going to be happening today? What representation or what line of attack? Of course, I'm not a lawyer, senior counsel, so forgive me. But what will be the approach of the attorneys? Let me put the question that way. What will be the approach of the attorneys representing Mr. Choksky before the court this morning at 10 o'clock or shortly?
The first concern yesterday was the refusal of the police authorities to allow for his attorneys to speak with him. And also the court has made an order or direction that he is not to be removed from Dominica unless and until the court itself gives permission. Okay. Now, do not forget when the application was made yesterday that they had no affidavit from Mr. Choksky as to the circumstances, because they were yet to speak with him. Now that they've had the opportunity of speaking with him following the court order yesterday, they are now returning to the court because the court ordered that the matter continued today. And the application which had been made yesterday was ex parte, meaning that the other side, which the Commissioner of Police, would not give them an opportunity since they were not aware of what was happening. So now that they have been served the order, they now have the opportunity of coming to the court and to give their side of the story. And Mr. Choksky's side will then be given for the court now to make a determination in terms, first of all, of medical attention, in terms of how long Mr. Choksky should remain detained under what circumstances. And I suspect that is the reason why the police yesterday have now charged him with illegal entry. So we have to wait and see what happens, because it's going to be a step-by-step process in terms of the extradition or the request by Interpol. That does not come into the picture yet. It is a question of his liberty, his freedom to see his counsel, medical attention, and we see what progress is from there based upon the information that he has sworn to, which gives the circumstances on which he left Antigua. Because you recognize right away that if he was abducted and forced to go to Dominica, then there cannot be a charge, or the charge for illegal entry cannot stand. So it would be interesting to hear or to read what the police would have to say in response to his affidavit. So I suspect that matter is going to continue. It will not end today, and I'm sure the opportunity will have to be given to the police commissioner for his lawyers to respond, so that the matter will be adjourned until sometime next week.
Is he a citizen of any other country, Mr. Choksi?
No, not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge.
Not to my knowledge.
And does the possibility exist for him to be sent back to Antigua?
Oh yes, because he's a citizen of Antigua. That's where he's coming from. Antigua is also a member of CARICOM, and I think there is protocol among the CARICOM countries in respect of how we deal with each other's citizens.
All right. I think we're going to have to leave it there. I know our learned counsel has matters of very high priority to address. So I just want to say thank you so much. I can tell my friends in St Kitts are breathless.
Yeah, we just lost for words, to be completely honest. It sounds like you're reading a movie script to us.
Anyone who can
or a novel by one of those famous writers like Ken Follett. I'm just looking at my Leon Uris, you know, or even Dan Brown. So we're reliving, and of course we have Agatha Christie with her various books which were made into movies, which shows the high drama of how persons are dealt with from one country to another, and the political interaction between countries when they need things, and these things are happening all over. Don't forget, you had that Russian guy who was poisoned over in England. And look at what is now happening in Russia with those who are in opposition to the government. So it's all over. It's all over. I mean, even in America, who of course sees itself as the bastion of democracy. Look at the situation we had with the president's, what you call the place?
The capital.
The capital. You know, and compare their reaction to that when you had the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, so it's all over. It's unfortunate, but these are the times in which we are now living. Very, very unfortunate and challenging times.
Pardon me, Justin L. Simon QC, Senior Counsel. Thank you very much for joining us. I look forward to, further updates on the developments in the courtroom in Dominica.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for the opportunity given to me to expound on this matter, so that the other side can, is also revealed to the public and they're aware of what is happening. And I'm sure speculation will continue, notwithstanding. And let me say this, that whilst we are defending Mr. Trotsky in respect of this matter, we are not making any comments in respect of his criminal activity over in India, because that does not concern us. The charge has been filed. We have no problems on that. It is a question of how the process proceeds, and there has to be the legal process must be followed.
All right.
Thank you very much.
That's where we stand.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Very enlightening discussion with Senior Counsel Justin L. Simon. All the best to you, sir, and we'll continue to watch this space. Believe you me.
Thank you. Have a pleasant day and a relaxing weekend.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Colleagues in St. Kitts, Jade, Kevon, Azem.
Oh boy.
All right. Have a good weekend. we got to leave it there because I have to go to our next segment. We're actually going to have a discussion about the first educational facility in Antigua and Barbuda, and I think in the Caribbean, if I'm not mistaken, for the education of enslaved people. So we're going to have that conversation next, and my guests are waiting. We are a little beyond time, so I got to go. Unfortunately, parting is such sweet sorrow.
Sweet sorrow, yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, sorrow.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend, yeah? All
right, man. Take care.
You too, you too.
All right. It's now 8:45 in Antigua Barbuda.
Wild.
Yo.
Like, don't even know where to start. But like Witty said, we basically got the Jason Stratham movie happening like right here in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, I'm just here thinking the whole time. Why this man name sound like some perverted children's like game? Nobody else was thinking.
But then you see somebody else is even saying that,
this
has been happening all the time, and it's just now being brought to us because of the social media aspect and the access to information, which is true. This has been happening forever. But
what exactly has been happening?
These type of things.
These kind of things. All these little.
Mm.
But you see, had we not had this kind of access to information, we probably would have never known it was happening right next door.
Right next door, literally.
I just like this. I think this in itself is a little outside of the norm. To be honest, I don't think this is something. So? Yes. Yeah. Yes, I do.
It is. I
believe this is something that's outside of the norm. Like
we have crazy things happen, but I think this is on a level on its own.
And the more he got into the details, the crazier the story got.
No,
when he hit me with the kidnapping,
because that was the question. How the man end up in Dominica? The man said he was kidnapped.
Kidnapped,
Yo, watch it. The whole this, and I've been following this for a few days now, right? Yeah. And I was there saying to myself, how is it? And that's why I asked the question just to confirm. When the guy officially landed in Dominica, that was Sunday, I realized all week the prime minister of Antigua. Well, we don't know where he is, but we have no record of him leaving, so most likely he's here. Now, my thing is, does that mean that the Dominican authorities did not alert Antigua that they had this man here?
Has to be, because how else would they not know?
Come on, you believe that? Yeah.
So you think he knew?
Look, this is the thing. This is the kind of thing that like conspiracy theorists love. Like the amount of conspiracies.
Yes, so the phone lines are literally lighting up.
Oh boy, let's see. Good morning, caller, live on Island T. Chucksy got to Dominica.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello. Yes. Good morning. Before you guys shift, because I know you all shift so fast.
You are on the boat? You are on the boat to Dominica?
If I'm on the boat to Dominica?
You on the boat to Dominica with Chucksy?
No, I'm in St Kitts, man.
Oh, okay.
Here's my question, and I think somebody mentioned it a while ago. How can you kidnap a person, take them to another country, and charge them for illegal entry? Something ain't right.
But that's
a very good question.
I think the argument would be that he wasn't kidnapped. Now, if that's the case, the police would have to then have to disclose how they knew he was either coming there, was there, where they found him, how they found him, because as it stands now, his claim of the events makes things very, very iffy.
Yeah, I'm not sending this one at all.
Bye.
Yeah, let me just leave, and if somebody's want to call, I find it crazy. Bye.
Bye.
That's a big thing,
Yeah.
You mean you're taken from a country and then being charged for entering the country that you would. Wow.
Yeah, well, again, guys, this is just his. I want to hear and that's why the council said that they're probably going to recess until next week, so the police have a chance to prepare their statement.
Bruh, listen. Okay.
But and then also keep in mind that the council also said that there's things he's not allowed to speak about since the case is active. So
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
facets of the case that we have to be left out.
Yeah, but Kevin, we have another caller. Caller, good morning, Live on Island T. Last that one. Let's see if this one is here. Good morning, caller, Live on Island T. Oh,
yeah, that's a wild turn of events. You were kidnapped, then charged with
Wild.
illegal entry. Nobody could find you for a week. Then you weren't allowed to see your counsel. Like,
I tell you, this is just one side of the story, but
This is wild.
we have another caller. Caller, good morning, Live on
side.
Island T. Hey, I sure that's in Chucksy call him.
He trying to stop up the phone lines? Like he trying to...
This is like musical
maybe the
chairs.
uncle.
Musical chairs with phone
It could
lines.
be our uncle.
Bye.
Because this... You didn't know, sir?
Bye.
He was on the island, sir? So
Let's try
police
this
didn't
one
tell
more
you?
time. Let's try this one more time. Caller, good morning, you're Live on Island T.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
We're doing well, doing well.
Now,
Morning,
the
morning.
question I have is, what about this due diligence that we're supposed to be having? Why we keep getting these high criminals? Have you asked yourself the question?
I think, well, this is my thing, right?
Okay.
When it comes to the background checks and stuff like that, the background checks, let's say you have not been charged or convicted of any crime prior to the application, then it wouldn't really show up.
Right.
All right then.
You remember the thing? The thing is with these background checks. Any background checks, we're not just talking about the investment program, but any background checks, things will only show up if you were caught doing them.
Right.
But if you are, a drug dealer, smuggler, whatever you want to call it, for the last 10 years and you've never been caught doing anything, your background check will come back clean.
As a matter of fact,
you're always innocent until proven guilty.
yeah, as a matter of fact, Kevon, one of the main issues, which is the accusation that him and his son, I think, stole a bunch of money from a bank in India.
Mm-hmm.
That only happened after he had already left the country and gotten his Antiguan citizenship. All this happened after he done.
Everything was like
Yeah.
a cluster. It happened back to back to back. Because I was like, before this, I've never heard of
Because
it.
remember the council told us he got his citizenship in 2017,
Yeah.
and it is now being 2021 is when all of this is sort of now unfolding. So
Yeah. So he actually left the country
wow.
prior to any charges, anything, any of that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So
The plot thickens.
yeah, and the thing is, we say so much of these and so much of these, but I mean, really and truly, I think the majority of the applicants for the citizenship by investment program have not been involved
yeah.
in.
And that's why when we hear stories like these, we're surprised. Not because it happens so often, because it doesn't. Or it wouldn't have had any effect on us at all. We would have just been like, oh, another one?
Yeah.
But that's not the case at all. Ooh.
Yeah.
So, Azem, what do you think going to happen?
What thing gonna happen?
Yeah, give us a good story. Like, what do you think going to happen? How do you think this song going to end?
I think what's gonna happen is the court case is gonna be going on for at least the next 7 years. While the court case is going on, he'll be given some
7 years.
some kind of leeway. So he'll end up coming out of jail and living a nice posh life until he passes away.
Yeah.
You think so?
Peacefully in Dominica.
Aww. such a happy ending.
Or perhaps he might come to St Kitts just to see what's going on down here. Here we
Why
managing
not
the
here?
We
COVID.
full. We
Here
full.
we managing
No,
the
we full,
COVID
we
where it
full.
was good.
I think we full.
Wing on a space.
Oh boy, but we have some more callers. Caller, good morning, live on LNT. Hello, caller. Let's try this one. Caller, good morning, you're live on LNT.
Yes, good morning.
Well,
Didn't India donate a whole lot of vaccines to the region recently?
yes.
And
yeah.
didn't it
go to Dominica and then was distributed from there?
Yes.
Yes. Do you think that's coincidence?
What's the link you think Dominica did that to try and influence the decision to extradite Mr. Chokski?
I think that there's no such thing as a free lunch, and I think that the Indian government, who really wanted him badly, just reminded the region, and I would not be surprised if Antigua doesn't know. The Antiguan government, the Dominican government, and the Indian government are not in cahoots, right? And they know exactly what they were doing. India wanted these guys badly, and so just reminded those two countries of the assistance that India gave to them when they needed it. Okay, and that brings us back to one of the things we were discussing yesterday of journalism, the whole idea of journalism and transparency, accountability, and those sorts of things. Freedom of information. Okay, those things should be supplementary to the court system. Okay, I can't imagine any bona fide journalist not wanting to know exactly what happened here. And if we had freedom of information legislation and access, we would know, right? There are too many things that go on in our name that remain on the wraps. Okay, we should know about them. All right, it's all about openness in government. We're not a superpower who have all sorts of state secrets and deal in all kind of subterfuge and spy thriller stuff. You know, we don't need to do that. We're not a player in that scene, and so it's not good that this kind of subterfuge come to our back door. Well, front door, it would seem. Okay? So the whole thing sounds like a mess, and, you know, it's a result of giving people power and authority without accountability. That, I think, is what's at play here. All right.
All right, Carla, thanks. Yeah, I mean, if you really want the conspiracy theory side of my brain to start working,
let's explore. I like this one. This is my. Let's go.
Today on conspiracy theory, Aros. Okay, so this is one theory, right? So, Mr. Chokski would have become an Antiguan citizen, through the what do you call it? The Citizenship by Investment program,
yes,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And would have gotten his citizenship. Is now an Antiguan citizen, right? Since 2017, mm-hmm. Right? Would it look bad if Antigua were to give up one of its citizens to India? It probably might. People might look down on that.
The optics. Yeah,
it doesn't look good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to come off as if you're not cooperative or you're not, you're not trying to do your best to work with India and their requests for extradition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if, while I'm simultaneously saying that, yes, we want to extradite him,
mm-hmm.
we don't actually extradite him, but have one of our neighboring countries extradite him for us? Well, that would be very important. What I found interesting was the point at which the Prime Minister of Antigua chimed in on the conversation earlier.
To let us know.
He didn't chime in on nothing else except to say the man has his Indian citizenship still. You understand? So what that means is that Dominica, if they give in to the extradition request,
mm-hmm.
would be able to extradite him back to his country, which would be India, not Antigua.
Mm-hmm.
You understand where I'm coming
You
from?
say like how your brain works, you know.
So it almost makes sense to be like, look, we ain't want too much confusion. Let him go Dominica. Let Dominica sort it out. And it's a win-win for everybody except Chusky.
Yeah, right. He's out.
Right.
He pissed off the wrong
Basically.
person because you're going to tell us that you were you were in a country, you were in your country, the country that you have citizenship to, and just on a random Sunday you were kidnapped and taken to another country.
When they take off the bag, you're in Dominica.
With police already waiting for you.
You're in Dominica with high officers chilling on the beach waiting for you.
What is this?
And there's no so you've been kidnapped, put on a boat that drove itself to Dominica.
Nobody else but you on this boat, and you were kidnapped. Was it,
well,
was
to be clear, to be legally clear, the council said that they didn't say nobody was on the boat, but they didn't disclose who else was on the boat.
But why wouldn't you if this is a kidnapping case?
No. Hold on. They're not. Hold on. Remember, the police ain't saying this is a kidnapping case. You know, Chusky is saying this is a kidnapping case. The police ain't saying
he's saying that he was kidnapped.
All they did was charge him on Thursday
when he reached there Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is, that's the only person that we know of has been charged. So he piloted the boat. I mean, he went on the boat by himself.
Told you was a Tesla boat.
Why is this with people from you know, it was
what?
The Antigua person, the boat that came in from Antigua was probably like a test run here.
Why all these boats escaping at Antigua?
Why all these boats escaping Antigua? That's probably like a test run to say, well, look, we have porous borders. People could leave. People could leave and we don't know. I just find it so interesting that he got there on Sunday and up until like Tuesday, Wednesday, like Gaston saying we're looking for him.
We just don't know where.
As far as we know, we don't have any record of him leaving.
Oh dear.
All the time he in custody in Dominica.
Interesting boy.
Chilling.
Like picture all over the place. Everybody talking about the situation. You can't tell me nobody in Dominica was like, hey, this ain't look like the fellow from Antigua.
Not only that, if you were picked up by police, the officers must know what's happening. They must know the situation. They must know that this man is missing in Antigua.
Look here, he was reported missing by his friend and chef, you know.
I thought it was his wife.
No, I think his friend and his chef. The person who would have been dealing with him, like, so that's the thing, you know. From the time I recognized that he's like reported missing by somebody close to him, it was kind of like,
This Matson boy.
It Matson in my head.
No, it Matson. It Matson, but just not for you.
The one that's being told is not Matson.
But no, that's the thing, Jade. The only story that's actually being told coming from him. Like the authorities, they say that, yeah.
Right.
But
so Jade, here's the thing: the math that we get in an equation for you to solve. It don't need to make sense for you. And the fact that it doesn't make sense to you means it's working.
Indeed. But guys, let's see if we have these callers on the line. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
You ever heard of Interpol?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a situation years ago in St Kitts similar to that. Where they took a guy from St Kitts and took him to another country. So most likely the authorities needed him. They knew he whereabouts in Antigua. Went and picked him up from Antigua and carried him to a different country to move him. So now the police, them in high offices, they know what's going on, but they want to say.
Right.
That's what exactly happened. Interpol move him.
Yep. As a matter of fact, he might not have been. As a matter of fact, he might not have even been Antiguan police.
Yeah, because you remember council told us that he's also wanted by Interpol. So
how can people listen?
There's
Interpol would be the agency.
I know, but it's just this man.
Because he's wanted by the Indian government. He's wanted by Interpol, which is an international police agency. So there's basically two people fighting to get this man based in multiple.
No, but you see, it's look, what you have to understand, right? It cannot be a coincidence, right? That the easiest way for this man to end up in India or anywhere else to answer for charges that have been brought against him, the easiest for everybody in the situation is for him to not be in Antigua. And then he just ain't in Antigua.
Yep.
Problem solved.
Like, this is my question.
Because then to
like,
disappear out of the country, you're not legally a resident of. It's very easy.
Look, initially when the talk was he's in Cuba, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because Cuba don't have extradition treaties with basically anybody.
Just grab and go. Grab and go.
Right, so you could literally go to Cuba and live your life.
When you're here, you're here.
Live your life, you know what I mean? But when I said Dominica, I was like, okay, if he goes to Dominica, that means he just trying to extend the time based on the fact that Gaston basically was putting it out there. Yeah, we support the extradition. But from the time the man started to say, but I mean, I end up over here.
I was kidnapped.
From the time you realize, wait, he was there since Sunday and nobody knew he was there. He wasn't allowed to talk to his counsel. He wasn't allowed to see the doctor. Like, basically, nobody knew that the man was there except apparently a few high-ranking officers.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. He's still in Dominica.
Right? I'm actually surprised, to be completely honest. I would have expected him to go missing before his arrival in Dominica was announced. So now that it's sort of public knowledge that he's in Dominica, it kind of makes things a little bit harder for whoever's trying to move him around, but that might be a good thing for him or not. We'll see. But it's break
maybe
time.
a little harder for well, I don't think so. I think it's at least for Antigua, the Prime Minister and the CBI program, it's probably the best thing that he in Antigua. So, in other words, the people who seem to be winning right now is Antigua.
Christ.
Let's go for fabric.
I don't know. Luckily, Stink is in it, so.
Sorry. This one was a lot. Kevon, take us out, please.
So it's break time. And don't go and hot up your kettle, because we will be right back after these short words from our friends via ads.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less with our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem, featuring Jade, Gwyneth Johnson.
Gwyneth.
Gwen.
Hey, y'all singing. You know what?
We need to come up with a
like
song for you.
I like it. Thank you.
I like it too.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Gwen.
Speaking of songs, yo, Kittishan's ain't gonna chill,
I'm
yeah?
not doing this with you right now.
Kittishan's ain't gonna chill, bye.
I'm not doing this with you.
Oh, what song we talking about? Please don't mix me. What song we talking about?
Kevon, you don't want to know.
Kevon wants to know,
You
actually.
don't.
Oh, no, I don't. I think I know
Don't
what it is. I don't. I don't. Nope.
Apparently,
So
you take no need
it's
to
time
play in
to
the land
jump
with the
into
coke.
some
I'm leaving.
Jade, I'm emailing you my resignation now.
You were saying, Kevon?
Tea time. So.
Oh dear.
I don't care now.
Sorry, that was really
Genuinely
good.
don't care.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one, Beggar. Like. So, what's happening in the nation?
I may want to do some more.
We are just.
Well, let's post let's give the nation some COVID numbers. We know y'all love it. So, here's your latest vaccine update. Should I read it like a newsman?
Yes.
I'm gonna try my best. I might butcher it, so bear with me. Here are your latest vaccine numbers. The nation of St Kitts and Nevis has. I can't do it. My brain about to just shut off.
Kevon, will you sound like you play Yu-Gi-Oh or Naruto?
Nah, man, that was actually pretty good. That's Caribbean news, man. That was Caribbean news, man, right there.
That's how it is. The Caribbean news. The nation of St. Kitts has now administered 19,167 vaccines. To break it down, I can't do it. No, okay, I give up. So the amount of numbers that the nation is now up to, we are up to 55.8% first dose and 21.0% for second dose, and that is a vaccination report number 79 as of yesterday, Thursday, May 27. To break down the numbers for you, doses administered in Nevis is now 6,180. Doses administered in St. Kitts, 19,167. Oh, I think I read it wrong. The news thing make me say it wrong. Yeah, the doses administered that I said earlier was incorrect because you see where I can't do it?
Mm-hmm.
So I read the St. Kitts numbers as the total, which is inaccurate. So the total doses administered is actually 25,347. So we get in there,
I think people just want to know what the percentages are.
Yeah.
Nobody studied
percentage. Numbers, okay, percentage. First dose, we are up to 55.8% of the target population. Second dose is now 21%. So, hooray. So, I'm trying to see if I can find this really fast. I probably won't be able to find it.
There's a dynamic that I want to discuss. Well, not discuss, but I want to mention. Like we always mention about people who are, for vaccine and wanting to see the nation, move forward and get vaccinated and reach the numbers that we're targeting.
Mm-hmm.
And we ask those people to, move with love and grace on people who may have a different view or, not quite there yet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the people who bashing people for getting the vaccine, y'all need to cool.
This last week with some friends of mine.
Y'all need to cool. Y'all need to cool too.
Bro.
Like, y'all need to cool too. Like, I know people who literally bashing, abusing,
doing the most for no reason.
And their friends for
the bashing is not working.
Yeah,
the bashing is not working.
Either way.
I like we said weeks ago. If there is someone who is on the fence about taking the vaccine or somebody who has questions before they would like to take the vaccine, by meeting them with hostility and bashing and all that stuff, you've instantly turned them off to it.
Yep.
So you're actually doing more damage than good. You can take the moment. How about, for those who want to educate but don't know how to do so, you can ask the question first. What is it about the vaccine that you don't understand or that you would like to understand?
Or what are your concerns?
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Right, what are your concerns? The most important part to this process is to listen. Because if you interrupt them without them finishing their statement, you actually have no idea what they're actually talking about because you didn't let them finish the train of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. When they are done, if you have the answers, you can then provide them with the information, not coercion, but information. Then, if you don't have the answers, you can then try to point them in the correct direction. Or you can say, how about we find out together?
Right.
And you'll jump on Google and you'll say, I actually don't know the answer to that. Let's look and see if we find the answer. You guys can search together. That way it's a collaborative effort and the person feels like they are a part of the research. But just shooting facts on people's throats and, pointing fingers and booing and stuff is not helping anybody.
And at the same time, the people who are bashing people who have gone and gotten vaccinated, the vaccine not in the body. It can't come out. Why is the problem?
And in the same way, it's your choice and your body to not take it. It is other people's choice to do so. So what is?
Yeah.
I don't understand what that mean about no.
Yeah.
That's what
I spoke to a friend yesterday.
If persons have taken it, if persons have taken it, and you would like to know why did they take it, you can ask the question.
Yes.
Why did you take the vaccine? And listen, because they might give you an answer that makes sense to you. And if it doesn't, that's okay. It doesn't need to make sense to you because it wasn't a decision that you made. It's a decision they made. So ask questions. I just don't think. I think the vaccine conversation is it's hard to avoid, and because of that, people are entering those conversations not knowing how to handle them, and they're just responding with hostility and aggression, and it's not working.
Yeah.
Ask questions, and if you don't know, feel free to say, I don't know the answer to that. I can't contribute, or feel free to say, I actually don't want to discuss that. But I feel like, these bullying and forcing people to talk about things, because so many times you hear people having conversations about vaccines and people will jump into views and just, take a step back. Like, it's just, okay, yeah, tired, over it. All right, let's go more vaccine talk, but in a different direction, kind of, not really. But the oppositional leader is encouraging community spirit and is promoting vaccines, but is condemning vaccination forcing, which is what we're just talking about. So the oppositional leader, Dr. Dental Douglas, is calling on citizens to band together to help each other as the nation confronts COVID-19 clusters that have forced the closure of schools for 2 weeks, a bunch of self-quarantines, and the imposition of nightly curfews that were effective on Tuesday, May 5th. That date is wrong. May know. But yeah. Tuesday, or probably 25th. On May 19th, officials announced that the country was facing a potential community spread of COVID-19 after a national who had not traveled contracted the virus while working at what they described as a local hotel. So we go what? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so since then, 19 confirmed cases of COVID-19 have been reported for May, and contact tracing continues to halt the spread of the virus. Dr. Douglas, in an interview published on the St Kitts and Nevis Labour Party's Facebook page on Wednesday night, he promoted vaccination as a tool to help fight the spread of diseases, including COVID-19. But, he's also he's not on board with the situation, which is best described as forced vaccination. So, long story short.
Long story short, we need to collect a consultancy check.
What?
Oh, my bad. What?
Don't bully people. Educate. If you don't know how to educate, point them to somebody that can better answer the questions. Bullying is not working. It does not work.
All right.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I mean about we, but I came in here and I said that I would have loved to see this happen, and so I want to commend Dr. Denzel Douglas for lending his voice to the discussion.
And Dr. Drew.
And Dr. Drew as well.
Discussed Dr. Drew. He did.
Yeah, because people want to hear from them, that they're influential doctors, right?
Y'all are doctors.
Yeah, influential in more than one space.
Most actually.
Yeah. So I think that I think it was good. I think whether or not you agree with everything he said or how he said it or whatever, I think it was important that his voice
the matter was
that his voice was put on into the issue, and people are able to say, well, okay, this is where he stands, So that I think that was very important. I do believe that there's things that he said that could be taken into consideration by the government as well. Yeah.
I think we just need to get to this point where oppositions do more than oppose and collaborate, and I feel like it will have a great outcome, because it not only will it show that the opposition is doing things and not just saying things, but actually the action of doing, but it benefits everybody.
There's
your
some
party members feel involved.
Yeah, they were saying there's some issues that call for bipartisanship, and if not this, then what? Like, bipartisanship is needed here, guys. Like, yeah, definitely.
Huh? Is it
But in other in other national news, let's see. We're not talking. We have COVID off the table. Let's switch it up for y'all. So, police has charged Kevon Springett for Charlestown robberies. 37-year-old Kevon Springett of Stony Grove has been charged for the possession of ammunition and robbery. According to a press release dated May 27, Springett is accused of committing 2 robberies, one on May 17th in Charlestown and the other on May 20th, also in Charlestown. Mr. Springett was formally charged for the offenses on May 25th, respectively. WINN FM understands that Springett is accused of robbing the Reliable Motors gas station in Cedar Trees, St Kitts, Cedar Trees, Nevis, and videos made the round on social media depicting a man believed to be Springett making off with the cash tray from the establishment and firing a non-fatal shot. He's also accused of robbing the Octagon Bar on Samuel Hunkins Drive. On May 23rd, Springett was formally charged for the offense of possession of ammunition. Springett was taken into police custody on May 20th when police found one 9mm round of ammunition following a search conducted on his premises. Get it together, my nation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he'll have his day in court. We'll see how that pans out. But it's good to see that investigation yielding some results. Time will tell. Because I think that's a lot of people fear when they work in certain establishments that are seen as being susceptible to the robberies, like having a gunman run up on you.
Or anybody will run up on you and threaten you to rob you. That would scare anybody. So
yeah, but gun have a kind of effect on people mentally. So I wouldn't want to be in that situation at all.
Listen, one time one time when I was working at my uncle's establishment, a man with a machete came in.
What do you know with this match?
This was a long time.
Okay.
This was a
Okay. Go ahead. Jade, continue.
I don't like your behavior. One time a man not ran up, he was at the door standing with a machete and he threatened to chop me up. I was like 17 and I could remember that till this day.
No, because I don't think that's something you could forget easily.
Yeah, that's kind of traumatizing, to be honest.
I mean, people in that position, there must be constantly, maybe not constantly, but it must cross your mind. That these are I'm working at a place that's susceptible to this type of situation. But I'm just really glad that nobody was hurt in the situation. Nobody was hurt, so yeah. Bye. The police work police.
A plus.
Do you think,
Kevon, move on. Not today. You don't get to do that today.
So, okay, we do it quick. So, scientists are now zapping clouds with electricity to make rain. With a harsh desert climate and an average rainfall of just 4 inches, which is about 10 centimeters a year, United Arab Emirates needs more fresh water. In search of a solution, it has been funding science projects from around the world to try to make it rain. One of these projects involves...
But we didn't do them here. We need some.
One of these projects involves using catapults to launch small unmanned aircrafts which zap clouds with an electric charge. A team of scientists from the University of Reading in the UK initially proposed the idea in 2017. Now the custom-built drones will begin testing soon near Dubai. The idea is that charging droplets in the clouds will make them more likely to fall as rain.
Listen,
so
I was looking at, I was on a hill this week and I was looking at the horizon. I feel like we could do a disservice. We're looking very brown.
Yeah,
like very, very brown.
Yeah, it hasn't been raining much. It rained last night. Some places in town. It rained like New Road for sure.
Dead Bay?
No, they always raining Dead Bay. But
yeah, you know, that's honestly the way it St Kitts has turned brown in like what, April? After April, things just start turning brown.
Yeah.
And it's just such an interesting thing to watch. Because if you take pictures and you look at them, it's actually brown.
Yeah, and the way it turns back green too. Like that's the thing what does surprise me. Like it look like if you just spit on the ground outside, it turn green. I think it's blessed, but we need rain.
We need rain. We need a lot of rain right now.
Yeah.
It is super. I don't like it. Fix this.
Fix it. Next thing when they bring the unmanned aircraft zapping the clouds,
hurricane.
They just start to make all kind of like thunderstorms.
Yeah, no.
Fog lightning every weekend.
Oh yeah. Why you such a Debbie Downer, man?
Look, whenever we try to manipulate nature like this, the consequences.
It doesn't really work well.
The consequences does just be like.
That's like when they say we building hurricanes and sending them. Do you believe that? Let me see the type of person you are.
No.
Kevon, do you believe that?
I do believe we're doing things that making hurricanes more frequent and more intense.
I mean, if we're leaving things up in the sky when they shouldn't be up there. I can't put anything past humans at this point, so. Why does he keep disappearing?
Oh boy.
Come on, what is this?
But Kevon don't want to be a part of this conversation. Oh, you guys realize that
please leave me and my multi-purpose furniture.
But y'all do realize that we've already had the first name storm for the hurricane season.
Where was I again? Some old
Anna. It wasn't Anna.
We did. Actually, let me see if I could find it.
I think it was Anna.
Yes, Anna.
Hurricanes are pissed off every time because y'all keep name anyway.
Give them old people name. What do you think would be a good name for a hurricane, Jade? Tell me.
Azem.
I think so too. But it'd probably be like real tense.
The one's coming already real tense.
Okay, I have it. I have it. I'm gonna read it quickly. Okay, I think it froze. Okay, so Anna has become the first named tropical storm in the Atlantic hurricane season.
We ain't even in the season yet.
It obtained tropical storm status with maximum sustained winds reaching 45 miles per hour. This is the 17th year in succession where the first storm of the Atlantic hurricane season has formed before the official start of the season, which is June 1st. 7th year in a row, hurricane started before the season started.
Perhaps we need to change the start of the season. How about that?
Basically.
Perhaps.
But we don't just be in hurricane season all year round.
I don't understand if this thing been happening for so consecutively and we just no, it's still starting.
Well, I mean, which is everything, because even the seasons in other countries are starting earlier and ending later. So they have to do a lot of changes.
That's what I tell you.
You still in fall and it's
we should remove the dates because we really don't know at this point.
Suggestion: hurricane season starts at January 1st and ends on December 31st.
just 24/7 hurricane.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Just be on watch all the time.
But that's gonna be a long point, man.
And then you can
just June too soon.
You can call it peak hurricane season when they actually start.
Jade, okay, Kevon, you've never heard the poem that reminds you about the hurricane season, like June too soon. What July is?
I don't know. You are the one that.
It's like August, summer, September. Remember, like you don't remember none. You don't remember none of this?
Wait.
Yeah.
Somebody
can call in and
July standby. I think July.
Yeah, July standby. Yeah, but we have a call on the line. Caller, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Hi, good morning. You want a scary thought? Because I noticed something the other day.
Oh no.
With the changing of the season, so to speak. The moon seems to be heading more. How could I say it? The sun sets in the west, right, and rises in the east. It seems to be going further north. In other words,
I've seen that. Yeah.
You notice? I know that's the
north.
tilting of the axis, and that's why we have the seasons and so on. So around this time, it gets hotter and so on. But the scary thought is this: what if the Earth spins off its axis? Just think about it. Something is changing, you know. Something is changing. I don't know what, but I know enough physics to know that if that happens, we could start saying goodbye to everybody. But the seasons are changing. Some places get colder than usual, and others get hotter than usual. They label it climate change. But in my simple world, I see the moon seems to rise further in the south, and you know, in the evening or morning, it goes like over stone away from where I'm living, and so I said that's definitely a change. And I ain't sure exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
All right, man. Take care. Thanks. All right, guys. We're actually gonna take a short break and come right back. We have a special guest who's gonna join us online. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Island Tea right here on WINN Media SKN.
Energize your goals with Lucozade. Get it good. Look under the cap. Find the code. Win it. Thousands in prizes. iPhones and TVs. Or win 30 grand US dollars for your goals. That's goals.
For a chance to win 30,000 US dollars. Purchase any Lucozade Energy promo bottle. Look under the cap and find the code to win iPhones, TVs, and free Lucozade for 30,000 US dollars to energize your goals. See website, social media, or press for details. Lucozade, taste the energy.
Currently, there are rumors and falsified reports circulating on social media about the novel coronavirus. For accurate information and updates, visit the Instagram and Facebook page of the Health Promotion Unit or the Ministry's YouTube channel at St Kitts Health Promotion Unit or St Kitts HPU. You may also visit online the World Health Organization or the Caribbean Public Health Agency. For further contact information, please contact the Ministry of Health for more info at 467-1172 or 467-1108. You can also be sure to follow the news to get the local COVID-19 updates. Let's all try to remain healthy and well. This is a message from the Ministry of Health and the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem featuring Jade. And it is time to jump into some conversation on this segment of Eat Local.
Yeah, I like it.
Smooth today.
Yeah,
smooth today.
Space juice, man.
Vocals today, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
Maybe you're looking for a feature?
Yeah. That's because I had the coffee today, actually.
Ah.
Well, good morning to our
And my
wonderful
big break is
guest.
coming.
I love your background.
You talking to me?
Yes.
Y'all can see me?
Yes.
Oh. What's going on, guys? I can't see you guys, unfortunately. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You should be at least able to see Kevon. We don't know what's happening there.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least maybe me. Yeah.
Yes. How you guys doing? Good morning.
Morning. We're doing good. And how are you?
Good to be here.
Awesome.
Jade for, hitting me up for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I had to.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Well,
So let's just take a little bit of. So we'd like to start this segment out with you introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do.
Okay. So my name is Pat RZL. I am originally from the beautiful, beautiful island of St Kitts, and I now reside in New York City. I am a New York State EMT by day, by night. I'm a rap extraordinaire, businesswoman, entrepreneur, brand owner, and I'm still growing. Yeah.
Well, what an intro.
Love that.
Right? Let's just go home now.
I mean,
Good.
So, you said that you're well, first of all, you're from St. Kitts, which a lot of
Right.
people probably shocked to know.
Oh, yeah?
Actually, when we were speaking, we were going through how we knew each other, and it was like, wow, you went to Washi, guys, Washi.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. They have this big, rivalry because the other two hosts are from BHS, unfortunately, and they don't understand that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have to deal with that part. But wow, you are from Washi, and then you moved to NY, and now you're doing two things that I just can't even imagine. An EMT, like you save lives on a day-to-day basis. Tell us how did you decide to become an EMT?
I decided to become an EMT. It was actually recommended to me by a high school friend of mine who actually went on to become a dentist. Shout out to you, Tahito. He was like, hey, Pat, I think, you should check out this program. So I signed up for it and took the course at a college, and boom, I'm an EMT now. And I feel like it's a very fulfilling job. It definitely has taught me humility, compassion, and just being aware of other people's circumstances for real. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're a rapper. I mean, that's pretty much where I know you from social media and listening to your music. Were you always involved in music? Is music something that you knew you wanted to get involved in from an early age, or when did that transition happen?
I feel like I've always been musically inclined. I can vividly remember as a young kid always coming up with melodies and rhythms in my head. So, and initially it was just calypso, soca, reggae type of melodies because I wasn't exposed to rap at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always been musically inclined. I got into rapping because of my older cousin. Shout out to RB the Mayor, who's actually a local superstar himself.
Yeah, man, big up RB.
Huh?
I said, yeah, man, big up RB.
That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. So I would always see him just writing mad lyrics and just reciting them. And I was like, I don't know if I was being nosy, just being fast, but I'm like, yo, what you doing, bro? And I really just took a liking to it. And fast forward, what's funny? Actually, my very first performance was at Washi. To be honest, I was only there for two years, first and second form. But I could remember my class had to do this school. It was a school assembly, right? Like the whole school was out. In my class specifically, we had to sing this song by Papa San, Road to Travel. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was the lead person just doing the actual verses, but the class would chime in for the chorus. Right. So that's actually my very first performance. But fast forward, I think 10th grade, I was introduced to this after school program in New York City. It's called BCAL. It was with Brooklyn College, and it was basically for the arts, right? So they had media, they had cooking, painting, and the thing that attracted me the most was it was a studio in there, right? And it was kids my age making beats, rapping, producing all these stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is fire. So from there, that's when I finally said, hey, let me try to sneak in there, see if I could get on a song or something. And then from there, look at me, I'm on Island T. Let's talk about it. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure. But and you know, you rap and but how would you describe your music? Like how would you describe your music?
I would say my music is for everyone. Really, I'm really a versatile artist because I try not to box myself in, you know, because I could come and spit something that's conscious heavy, you know, folks would be like, yeah, that's conscious, or I could kind of get raunchy, you know. But I think at my core, I'll always be an artist that spits lyrics, write lyrics that's thought provoking. Like I like to make people think, right? It's crazy because I just posted a clip of a cipher that I did a couple months ago. I posted a reel on my Instagram. It's been out, right? But I just, you know, reposted it, and everybody's talking about this one bar, like, yo, that bar is fire, and everybody's stuck on this bar. So I like to just have people think, honestly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's for sure. And I think that's one of the things I like about rap and your music in particular. When it provokes some sort of thought or some type of emotion, some type of feeling, there's some, because then it means that there's some substance to it, right? And it's really good to see that, you know, we have people who are from here who made the step, migrated, and able to contribute to such a big culture in such meaningful ways.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's something that I'm just truly passionate about. It's something that I wish I would have over the years, because I feel like I've been doing it for a decade, right? But it's something that I wish that if I would have, you know, in the early stages, if I would have just given it my all, like, you know, who knows where I would have been. But I feel like I'm in alignment, you know what I mean? Like I'm on my path. So, you know, things just happen the way they're supposed to, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, people usually say nothing happens before it's time. So, you know, maybe this is the time for you to actually to pursue this dream, because I've heard your music and I've been blown away. Like, I actually reposted it because I just was like, how is this something that I missed for so long? Like, why didn't I know this was happening? I love your music so much. But speaking of, we have to let the people hear what we all have heard. Is there a particular song that you would like us to play? Like, remember, it has to be radio friendly.
I was about to say, oh boy, jeez, that's something that I definitely gotta look into, because we tend to get a little explicit, emotional charge. So I can't really think of a specific song. But I would ask you though. So you said that you're into the song. Like, what's your favorite song that you've heard by me? I'm the interviewer right now. Like, what's the favorite?
To be totally honest, right? Because I'm so new to your music that I can't pull one off the top of my head. But trust me.
Well, I'd actually liked. I think the first song that I listened to was Melanin. And that was some time back.
Yeah.
That was some time back. And then I'm close.
Choose Violence. Ooh.
Say that again.
I think that's the one that Choose Violence.
Ooh, that's a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, and I know that has been moving already, because I'm looking at the views and I'm like, wow, just 3 weeks ago. And yeah. So tell us that title, like, why that one piqued my interest.
it's something that I see, you know, in Shade Room, they be like, oh, they, you know, they have like these memes and stuff like, oh, that person woke up and chose violence today. So it was really just a play on that. And the song itself, the lyrics, like we were just talking about, you said, you know, I'm just in alignment, right? So it's really just me. The opening bars is like, woke up with my head in a vice, stressing, wonder if I'm heading in the right direction, pain in my eyes, see in my reflection, right? That's just me saying, yo, I've been doing this for quite some time. Like, am I really headed on the path that I say that I am, right? It's really just a constant battle. Like, am I really doing what it is that I'm supposed to do, living in my purpose, right? Or should I just go back to school and stay in the medical field? Or should I just take the independent route and just, you know what I mean? So it's really just about that. And yeah.
I think that song especially is going to resonate with a lot of people, whether you're a doctor or a rapper or somebody just trying to find your path, because we all have those thoughts on a day-to-day basis. We're wondering if the things that we're doing is going to pay off in 10 years, or we're going to get to the place that we want to get. So trust me, that song, people are going to be ringing it out.
You know, for me, what was interesting is the actual music video you did for Choose Violence. You have it like a fisheye lens, almost the entire thing. What was what was the thought behind that? What was the intention?
In all honesty, my music videos they tend to be run and gun style. So it's just like almost like a freestyle, right? And the videographer that I've been working with, amazing. Like his vision, I don't even know. Like he sees something that I don't, but it's cohesive at the end of the day. And yeah, we shot it on a rooftop in LA, because I was actually out in LA for like about a week, and I'm like, so I'm about to be out in LA. He's out in LA. Let me just see if I can link up and let's just knock it out the way. So yeah, it's really just his, you know what I mean, his creative vision. It's just amazing. So yeah, we're gonna have to tap in and ask him about that. You feel me?
Yeah, and for those of you who may have joined us a little late, we're actually online talking to Pat RZL, a rapper from now residing in New York, originally from St Kitts. But you know, even that's something that I find interesting. Your name and how you choose to spell it. Is there any meaning behind the way that you spell your name?
Well, okay. All right, so let me tell you about how I actually got the name. So I used to go by Pat Rice, kind of like Patrice. It was kind of like a play on words, like Patrice.
I can see it.
My name was really Patrice, but still, you know, it was a reach, it was a stretch. But I was like, I can't, if I ever get into a rap battle, they're gonna roast me. Like, what is that? So I was like, let me just put a little for shizzle, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, a little sauce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was actually spelled RIZZLE, but I'm like, oh, that's still too long. So like, let me just make it a little acronym. So
yeah,
it varies, but RZL, rebellious, zealous lifestyle, or rebellious, zealous leader. Like, I'm very passionate. Like, I'm going against the grain. Rebellious in that sense. I'm zealous because I'm passionate about what I do, and leader because that's my last name. Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, you are passionate, and it shows in so many different ways. You also have a brand as well that you're promoting. Show it off.
Actually, tell us about that. Like, tell us about the brand, the kind of designs you use. You know.
Okay.
So first, your background is amazing, and you know this sunflower on the shirt is just on the hoodie is just framing everything. So
you like it? You like how I set that up?
Yeah.
All right, so the brand actually came about. I dropped a project titled Still Growing. I think it was 2019, at the end of 2019. And really this was just, initially it was supposed to be merch, you know, just to kind of promote the project itself. But when I sold the hoodies initially, when I made them, I sold them and it sold out and everybody really gravitated towards it. So I was like, let me kind of like brand this, because I feel like it's something that everybody can resonate with, right? We're all still growing in every aspect. Like me, I'm growing mentally, spiritually, financially, you know what I mean, in all the ways. So it resonates with me in that way, and I felt like it would resonate with other folks too. So yeah, we're all still growing.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it seems as though like your passions, they come out in so many different ways. It's obvious that you have a lot of creativity in you, a lot of inspiration, and that's really been coming out. Like, what's the goal for you in terms of your music? Where you're trying to go, where you're trying to take it, and what's next?
I would say I'd like to be more so established. Like, I'm not looking for superstardom or fame or anything like that, but definitely more so established with the music. I would like to be self-sufficient. I would like to be able to afford opportunities for my family, my friends, and other artists coming up. So I'd like to put on shows, festivals, and yeah, I mean, I'd like to perform in St. Kitts too. Like, if y'all got the link, like, on the music fest, what's up? If y'all could start a petition for the kid.
Got you.
Yeah,
Just
more so established.
Got you.
We could work on something, but unfortunately right now, things are a little bit
Yeah, on that. I feel you on that. So next year, the year after,
Right. Got you.
Yeah. Well, now the people have heard from you, and they know that, we have talent out there wanting to come home. So I'm sure the proper person, you think they're listening? I think they're listening.
Yeah, they're listening, definitely.
That's good.
But
That's good.
Speaking of which, like, coming from St. Kitts and going into rap, there's not so many artists who do that. There are artists who kind of dabble in other genres. But who are some of the other rappers who you kind of like in the flow, like in their style from here in St. Kitts? And probably even maybe be able to get a feature going.
Hey, that'll be dope. To be honest with you, I'm not really too hip. I know my older cousin RB, like, his music is fire. I love his music.
Right.
So collab with him would be, and just off the bat, really. But who are some of the artists that you guys would recommend that I listen to, honestly? Because I don't want to lie to you out like that.
I mean, in rap, like, we have a friend of the show. He's been here a few times. We have Zoo. Who's been making
yes I've actually
who's making some waves. Dropped like 2 projects recently. Like, who's Jade?
You have Zoo. You have Para. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her. She's from St. Kitts too.
I don't even think you have to stick to the rap genre, because I feel like a crossover would be.
Yeah.
Like, we have people like Barry.
Some crossovers would be actually amazing.
And we have people like Jados. Like, these would be some collaborations that just would be on different levels.
Yes, he's actually somebody that I love to make a song with. I have heard a few songs by him. Yeah, lyrically, he's fire. So
for sure.
Definitely.
Blend genres and all that. Like, my older cousin, I was in St. Kitts a couple years back, and I recorded like this Caribbean type of vibe with my older cousin, but he never put it out. So I'm like, what's up?
Yeah, maybe now's the time. Right? Maybe now's the time, right?
Now's the time.
And
I'm about to say,
matter of fact, we also have Mod. We also have someone called Mod Stoney. Like, he's actually in NY, so it might be a little easier for you to link up with him.
I definitely know Mod Stoney. All right, so I was just lost completely when you asked me questions. Now that you're saying the names, yes, that's Mod Stoney. He's fire as well. Definitely fire. Definitely fire.
So now we can look out for when you do this collaboration, don't feel free to shout us out, because we.
That's a fact. I will say that I have collaborated with my older brother. I'm not too sure if you guys are. You should be. His name is Keja. He makes beats.
Yeah.
Yeah, big up Keja one time. That's my little part right there.
Yeah, we collaborated on a song. I would say sometime last year. I actually put out a music video for that as well. It's titled "Who That."
Yeah,
so he made for that one. Shout out to my brother, man.
Yeah, for sure. And he's in Taiwan right now, but he's still so involved in music and what's happening.
Yeah. He loves it. He loves it. I could tell, like, he's just passionate about it.
Yeah,
and every day, like, I could see the progression with his music, the beats and stuff. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. We played in bands together, like, all growing up. So like, that's my boy right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Small world.
That's fire. That's dope.
Yeah. So I mean, the other thing that's interesting to me too is sometimes we associate certain genres with certain genders, and we sometimes overlook some of the amazing talent that women have. How has it been navigating your career, being a woman and doing the type of music that you do?
For me personally, like I'm guessing you're talking about the music industry and things like that. For me personally, right. I don't subscribe to that because I feel like the music industry is just going to be what it is. But also, conversely, I feel like artists are realizing that you don't necessarily need the music industry. Like, folks are blowing up from social media, TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah, right.
It's like now is the perfect time. Back then, I could imagine that it was hard for artists to pop, especially female artists. But now I feel like as it pertains to the music industry, there's ways around that. Like, people are starting to realize that the independent route is a beautiful thing to travel. So yeah.
And is that kind of your goal, to kind of build yourself up and stay independent?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like the little clip that I posted the other day was really just detailing all of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been amazing. Yeah, go ahead. I didn't realize you were talking. We're having some connection issues.
I said I could spit that little clip. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. We would love that.
I said, so see the way that I mastered it. I would never let master come take a half of it. I'm an advocate. If it ain't independent, I ain't having it. You can say I'm arrogant, but I'm adamant, because they gonna count it up in a slide, advocates. Knowing they don't want you to rise like you Lazarus, hopping on your wave till you tired while collecting their ties. Man, we sick of their lies. Yeah. So basically just saying, like, the music industry we sick of that. Y'all just, for years they've been extorting. Let's call it what it is, extorting artists, right? We see that we can build our own foundation, build up our own fan base, and
definitely independence is a real viable route now for artists, given the advantages that social media have provided. So we really see a lot more artists becoming what they want to be, without having to go to the major labels, using that independent route. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I really think ownership, being able to dictate your own future in the space is something that should be applauded. So I'm happy to hear that you're on that road, and hopefully we just continue to hear more and more good things about you and your career. I look forward to seeing you on Music Festival in the not too distant future.
Hey, all cool effect, you never know.
All cool effect.
You never know.
Yeah.
Big. Let's get it. I would love that. Definitely would love that.
Yeah. Well,
Oh wow, that's the time.
That's the time. Like time has already has already run us down.
Okay.
And you, again, thank you so much for coming and joining us here today on LNT.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. But guys, go ahead. Yeah, you got a shout out?
Shout out all my family members. I know y'all in here. Want to shout out my sisters. Want to shout out my mom. Want to shout out my brothers, my nieces, nephews. Actually, check out family operated business in St. Kitts, Myron's Closet, 10 Pelican Mall. You feel me? Want to shout out my cousins, everybody, man. Thank you guys so much for having me.
And before you even go, tell us where we can find you, your platforms that we can find your music on social media.
I'm on everything. You can Google me. Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, everything is Pat RZL. That's PATRZL. PATRZL. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Yeah, man, for sure. Appreciate you too. But guys, it's Friday.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Weekend. Oh. 4 days this week was a blessing, especially the week that we've been having.
It didn't feel like.
Don't know if you could handle another day.
It didn't feel like 4. It felt like 10.
Yeah.
It felt like a whole 10 long days. But we made it. It's time for us to remember we can't be outside too long. But we can
relax. There's nothing wrong with relaxing, people.
Go to the beach.
Just take it easy. Just take a break.
Play some games. Relax. It is relaxing.
It's family time. Bring up, pull out the board games and have some fun.
Yeah, I would it.
But yeah, man. Thank you guys, everybody who logged in this week. Thanks to all the guests we had this week. We had some great guests again this week. All you guys who call in, all you guys who comment on the live. Big up yourself one time. And man, check us out on Facebook, YouTube, WINNMedia SKN. Check us out on Instagram,
Twitch,
and Island SKN. Yeah.
Yeah, watch some old interviews, watch some old episodes. This is what you do with your weekend.
Just don't go too far back. Because don't go too far back.
As they want.
Yeah. Growth can be seen, and it's a good thing.
Yes.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, really appreciate you who come here and tune in with us every day. All the bus drivers who put us on in the buses, all the offices that have us playing. So your workers could find a way to cope with all the work they're dropping on the desk. We appreciate you too. I'm looking at But yeah, guys, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Remember, greet people with grace, with love. And do whatever you're doing to try and make yourself and those around you even better. Kevon,
do something nice.
But yeah, guys, we're gonna hear now from the chapstick Don himself, the Slim God, the Duke of Frigate Bay, the Prosecco Papi, the one himself, the man himself with the $1 million smile, Mr. Kevon Hanley.
Ding. So remember, you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug. See you on Monday.